Good morning, everyone. So, thank you for being here. We are presenting our study titled as Language, Artificial Intelligence, and Digital Equity in Northeast India. This work examines how language diversity, AI development, educational infrastructure, and indigenous knowledge systems intersect within the context of Northeast India. The primary motivation behind this research comes from the simple question that, as we all know, the increasing role of AI in our lives, especially in education and governance, where the dominant languages sometimes tend to leave the languages which are not digitally represented behind. And as we all know, Northeast India has extraordinary linguistic diversity with more than 200 languages. However, many of these languages are digitally underrepresented. So, as part of this study, we attempt to understand whether language exclusion may also translate into wider forms of digital and educational inequality. Next slide. To explore this issue, our research focuses on four closely connected dimensions, which are, as mentioned on the slides, low resource languages, artificial intelligence, digital education infrastructure, and indigenous ecological knowledge. So instead of approaching them separately, we are examining them and their intersection. So as part of our evidence, we are looking at quantitative data from UDISE and census language statistics, along with the findings from natural language processing and machine translation research, where alongside we're also looking at the NEP 2020, Bhashini and India AI Mission to understand the current institutional efforts for addressing these challenges. Yeah, next slide. So, as part of this study, we have an integrated framework through which we have had the finding that the finding about relationship between language recognition and digital infrastructure. We found that states with constitutionally scheduled dominant languages show approximately 19 percentage points higher school internet access compared to states where dominant languages are non-scheduled. So this does not necessarily impute into direct causation, but it does suggest that language status may have a broader development implications for the region. So the broader argument that we have is that equitable digital development cannot be achieved if these pillars are overlooked. Next slide. So this research, as part of this research, we are adopting the research of mixed secondary research approach, where we are combining both quantitative and qualitative analysis. The quantitative component primarily uses UDISE educational data and census language statistics, along with the policy documents and research literature around AI and multilingual technologies. We also examined the ongoing initiatives such as Bhashini and India AI Mission, and as part of this research, one important limitation that we have acknowledged is that the literature specifically connecting to AI and Northeast India remain digitally limited in connection, while there is a significant need for more region-specific evidence and future research as part of this research domain. And with that, I hand it over to my colleague Shirisha to take on the next slides.
So, coming to the point of linguistic diversity and classification in Northeast India, uh, the linguistic landspace has spanned into four. Tibeto-Burman, which is numerically dominant Austroasiatic, Khasi and related groups. Indo-Aryan, which has Assamese, Bengali and Nepali people language, and then Thai Kadai languages distributed across multiple states. So as you can clearly see in this slide that Mizoram population, especially Mizor Lishai, represents 73%, and Nagaland has extreme fragmentation, where they have like 16 plus Naga languages, and which doesn't have a single language exceeding 15% of speakers. Through which we can clearly see that there is a problem in terms of curriculum and pedagogy in school or in higher education per se. This is something that we wanted to explore too. Then coming to the point of future speaker growth in communities like Bodo, Kasi, Garo, um, it is it is realized that 10 lakh speakers would be exceeding by 2061, which is a good reason for us to work on or invest in early AI language system development in Northeast. Coming to the strategic relevance for AI, there is an emerging demographic scale, and of course there is a multilingual complexity and uneven digital representation, which makes a law resource northeastern languages both in terms of equity, imperative, and strategically rational policy choice. Um, Moving forward to state-by-state school digital infrastructure in Northeast, UDISE, in comparison across digital access indicators and national benchmarks, we can clearly see that Sikkim exceeds national average in terms of UDISE across all 5 infrastructure indicators, and Meghalaya has no internet access or less internet access in most cases. So we can also say that based on the slide here, the Sikkim and Assam has decent internet access, whereas Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh has lower than the national average, which we can clearly see that there is a disparity in northeastern region in different states. Moving forward to polity architecture in terms of NEP 2020, Bhashini as a delivery infrastructure, and the India AI mission, NEP clearly mandates that mother tongue instruction in terms of curriculum and pedagogy is must at least till 5th class, and it also recommends an extension through till class 8 with the step with the commitment towards technology based learning. Bhashini, if we see it as a machine learning translation system, it can be a good tool for us to understand and learn the scheduled Indian languages, which can also be improve the scalability of understanding the multilingual languages within northeastern region. Moving forward to indigenous languages, climate knowledge, and the case for language AI. There is a climate vulnerability because of the eastern Himalayas and the eastern Himalayas. And then, as through our research, we have realized that Mizo communities do document weather prediction through bioindicators, which is a great knowledge system to have. And indigenous language system as knowledge center, we can clearly say that knowledge actually remains in oral forms, which can also be transformed into the direct translation or indirect translation through the digital representation. And we can also use language AI as a form of preservation and resilience, which can also be which is also a central argument in our research paper. Moving forward to an integrated language AI as a foundational infrastructure, the communities, as we know that there are many communities which has the foundational multilingual education system, which can be worked upon understanding the climate communication and digitally accessible governance. And we can say that we can use education as a delivery system to understand the through the AI, we can understand that mother tongue learning and digital capacity building is important. Climate resilience as urgent application, where we can see that there is a systemic interdependence through AI, education, and climate resilience. The key findings and quantitative results is that, as Baksheesh clearly mentioned, there is a 19% pointers in high school internet access. And I would also like to clearly mention that Meghalaya records the weakest digital infrastructure, which should be looked upon, and whereas Sikkim exceeds UDISE indicators. So this is something that we would like to bring into the focus. And also using AI, we would also like to conclude saying that using AI, we can create a digital inequity into a digital equality space for people, and also create a epistemic knowledge system in the northeastern region. Thank you.